Let me say this up front. These aren't the best movies ever made, and we're definitely not trying to impress anybody that calls movies film or cinema.
But at least my movie choices are going to be in color.
Welcome to From Vinyl to Viral, the podcast where we explore what growing up in different generations means, particularly Gen X and Gen Z. Unfortunately, Veruca can't be with us today, so I have the world's second best co-host, Mac.
I'm Mac, I'm Gen Z, and unlike Wes, the movies I watched growing up were in color. And today we're going to be talking about some of those movies.
I want to thank Mac for being here. This is going to be a lot of fun because obviously I don't know you as well as V.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat, so I'm very excited. But are you ready to get into it?
I am. Wait, before we get into it, one quick question. You want to guess any of mine first?
Ooh, I did consider that you see a lot of movies in theaters, and that I have not seen a movie in a theater in the last 5 years. So, I'm not entirely sure. Off the top of my head, I thought maybe like a Marvel movie would be in there, perhaps. Or like some sort of like superhero movie.
None of them have been in theaters for a while.
I figured that as much. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, can I guess at 1 year's at least?
Yeah.
I'm going to go The Notebook.
No.
No?
I really thought you were going to guess the Taylor Swift Eras Tour documentary. That's not on there.
No,
but I didn't think that was your guess.
No, that's not a movie. That don't count. All right. Go ahead and start us off with your number 3 movie, Mac.
All right. So my number 3 movie is what I would like to call a cultural trailblazer. I've chosen Shrek.
Shrek. That's a good one, actually.
I think so. It's a 2001 film, so it's as old as I am, 25 years. But
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Crazy to think that if Shrek as a movie was a human being, its frontal cortex would almost be fully developed at 25 years old. But I did love growing up this movie so much. My dad in the back of our truck used to have one of those DVD players, so he would put it on for road trips, and my sister and I would watch Shrek all the time. Like in the school drop-off line, it would just be playing. Anytime we were driving in that truck, Shrek was on. I think I liked it as a kid because it had so many of the fairy tales that I was familiar with, just with like a lot of humor. And I still enjoy it as an adult because they made it for people who had humor like at all ages, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, they definitely did. I remember, of course, I've seen it, numerous times. And of course, Veruca watched them all when she was growing up. Some of the humor is great. I think it's the second or third one. One of them is just hilarious. Like I laugh all the way through it. I can't remember which one. The second
one, I laugh all the way through every single time. But
there's
that's
one where
like
they
the fairy
got like
godmother.
this whole world, and it's like a mall, but all the shops got like old school names and everything. And that thing makes me laugh so much. I can't say too much about Shrek. I have no problem with Shrek. Shrek is actually worshipped quite a bit by millennials too.
That's kind of why I wanted to know your thoughts on it, because I have heard sources call Shrek a mematic legacy because of the amount of memes that have been created off of it. Because like the style of humor that the movie was written in and like that distinctive dialogue, it stayed pertinent in pop culture for literally 25 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And what's even more interesting is, 2001 was before memes were really a thing.
Oh, 100%. It was before like a lot of things on the internet were there. 5 years ago, it was completely different. So that's kind of why I like it. It remains a classic. It's also one of those animation films that kind of broke some barriers because it did popularize celebrity voice tracks, and then they added a lot of modern music to that film. It was like very recognizable, which I liked.
Little known fact I've seen on TikTok, I think it was, or Instagram, I've seen it a couple times now, is the guy that created DreamWorks, which is who made Shrek. He went off to create DreamWorks because he couldn't get a better deal at Disney. He worked at Disney, and he had all these great ideas, and he had worked on maybe Toy Story or something, and they just couldn't come to terms, and he said, okay, I'm going to go out and do it on my own, and he created DreamWorks. Because I always used to forget that Disney didn't make Shrek, because it does seem like a Disney thing. One of the first times we went to Disney World, I remember trying to find, like, where's the Shrek ears or merch? No, they didn't make that. That's DreamWorks. I think it definitely pulled out something, to help rival Disney. So now they went on and they've made, what is it? Gru? What's that?
Despicable Me.
Yeah, Despicable Me and other things. So yeah, that's a really cool one.
I think it definitely put them on the map in terms of, like, animation style and quality to, like, put them against Disney a little bit. But
definitely.
I feel like Shrek is like the founding member of DreamWorks. That
Yeah,
character
definitely.
and those things.
Yeah,
So
it's quite the classic. I'll give it to you on that one. That's a good choice. So I had a problem. My first two movies came to me like that, easy peasy. Number three could be literally 100 different movies tied for it. I could like pick 100 movies right now that I could at one point watch and be like, this is my favorite movie of all time. So I had to narrow it down to one. There's so many honorable mentions I could use. Pulp Fiction, Mallrats, Friday, Bad Boys. But I chose my number three movie. It's going to be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The
that's
original.
so crazy. I watched it last night.
The original? With Gene Wilder?
I watched the one with, I think it's Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka, so not the original. But that is crazy that I literally just watched a version of that last night.
I picked the movie because I watched it all the time as a kid. Usually my neighbors would get it rented on VHS and I'd be at their house and we'd watch it repeatedly. And of course, Veruca is named after Veruca Salt in the movie. How can you now get this?
Okay, so I always thought maybe, but I didn't think she was like for sure named after the character. That is iconic.
Yes, but you know what's funny is people have always asked me, did you name her after the band? Because there's a band called Veruca Salt that was big in the 90s.
No, the first time I heard her name, I immediately thought Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not even joking. But I was like, there's no way.
I'm like, no, the band was named after the character because the character came first. Yeah, so it's very funny. And what's funny about, you mentioned that one's actually Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Johnny Depp. They came out with that not too long after she was born. And we were like, oh my gosh, what have we done? But, luckily that one wasn't as well received. You know what I mean? So it didn't become iconic. Have you ever seen the first one?
I have, yes. I'm quite fond of it. The original I do love is Gene Wilder. I'm saying that right?
Yep.
I do love his Willy Wonka the best of like any version of it I've seen. His is the best.
Yeah, his is. I love Johnny Depp. He's like one of my favorite actors. But in that movie, he like tries almost too hard to be weird.
Yeah, and his weird actually makes it more creepy than like weird cool, if that makes sense.
I don't know,
because completely different
that
vibe.
was the thing about Gene Wilder's. His is kind of creepy and weird, but it's like very kind of natural.
Yes, his isn't forced creepy. Whereas like
he's just kind of a weird
Johnny
dude,
Depp, some of the scenes he's just like straight staring, and you're like, "What? Are you okay?"
I think Gene Wilder did it much better. The whole thing obviously is just so surreal. The visuals in that movie and the music.
It's ahead of its time, too.
It is. It really is if you think about it. Yeah. Because it's on the original, people would call it an acid trip movie, really.
Yeah, honestly.
When they go through the tunnel and everything, and there's just so much craziness going on. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I agree with you there. It's 100% ahead of its time for what they did. And
yeah, I mean, the visuals are insane. And like the world building, too, is just like astronomically well done.
Right. Yeah, and the way they get to the golden tickets and everything is a lot of fun. So Veruca got named after the spoiled brat.
It's so funny. That's so funny. The reason I was watching it last night is because there's a scene where the little girl gets attacked by all of the squirrels. I think that's the Veruca character. Am I wrong?
That's the Veruca in that one, yeah. Because she's a bad nut, is what they say. Because in the original, she's the bad egg. Because she wants a golden goose.
Have like a favorite scene from the movie that just like really sticks in your head when you think about it?
There's a lot you could pick out. I think maybe the one where they're going through the tunnel. It's just so weird. When you're watching as a kid, you're like, what is going on here? You're so confused. Is this now a horror movie? What is going on? And that one has produced a lot of memes. That movie.
It has too. Yeah, I would say that one stayed really culturally prevalent too.
My favorite ones are about Grandpa Joe. He's in bed laid up for all these years. All of a sudden there's a golden ticket to the chocolate factory. Jumps
Light it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes about that. I've also seen the musical twice, and it kind of melds the two movies. It kind of splits them. So yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I think that's a great third pick. And I feel like it's right on par with Shrek, where it's a movie that's still very much significant in modern day, current day. So I love that. I love that.
All right, what you got next for us, Mac?
Okay, so this is one that I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it is called The Edge of 17. It stars Haley Steinfeld and Woody Harrelson, but it's like
what? That's a duo if I ever heard one.
Right? And that's what makes the movie so great. I feel like you've got to watch the trailer after this because this was my coming of age movie, right? It came out in 2016 when I was 15. This is the movie that I clung to as a teenager. And if you watch it, you'd probably understand why I am the way I am a little bit. The two most sarcastic characters in the entire world have this teacher-student relationship because Haley Steinfeld is obviously playing a teenager who's awkward and she dresses weird and she can't really make any friends other than the ones she has, and she's got boy issues and she's got mom issues and her dad recently passed away, so she's got all of these things going on and she's 16 or 17 in the movie. And then Woody Harrelson is a teacher that's a one stable adult in her life. And
Woody Harrelson's the stable adult.
Exactly. And he's so sarcastic with her. I remember seeing the trailer before the movie came out, and it was one of those things where I have to watch this movie. It was just the authentic portrayal of a teenager that just made it so relatable. And then I saw myself in that character, like that awkward, didn't really dress well, didn't really know how to make friends, didn't know how to talk to boys kind of character. I still very much feel like that. But it just really encapsulated what it's like to be in the trenches when you're a 15 to 17-year-old girl.
Okay, I got one for you. Something that always bothers me. Movies kind of like that is they'll take like a very attractive person and be like, oh, nobody wants me. And you're supposed to make that believable. Like, come on now. Haley Steinfeld, get serious.
I will say she's not like unattractive, but they just don't put any makeup on her. She just wears her hair very naturally. She's just very plain in the movie, right?
Or the classic example, Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She basically gets Anne Hathaway a little bit, but like they don't make her ugly. They just make her very plain. And then the way she dresses is just so outlandish. You'll have to look up the movie scene.
That trope just kills me all the time in movies.
It does. I will say, though, the Anne Hathaway transition into when she becomes a princess, like, lives in my mind rent-free, because that was, like, something I based my childhood expectations off of.
Yeah, they turn out nothing like the real world.
No, except for I felt like this movie did a good job of depicting how much high school really sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And it brings out, like, the humor of Gen Z a lot, because the character starts a monologue with her saying there's two kinds of people in life, and one type of person just naturally excels at life. That's her straight-A student brother who's got a girlfriend and he's all popular, and I think he's a football player or something. It's been a minute since I've seen it. And then she goes, there's people who hope all those people die in a really big explosion. And I was 15 years old, and I was like, she's actually spitting straight facts right now. I 100% agree.
I don't know, Mac. I don't know if I'm buying this from you.
From me? What do you mean?
I think you might be trying to do the Anne Hathaway here. Like, trying to act like things were great for you in high school.
Oh, things were not great for me in high school. Things got great for me. The week after I graduated, I had jaw surgery, and that changed my life. But no, things were not great for me in high school.
You must have had a really messed up jaw then.
I was pretty Anne Hathaway pre-becoming a princess, and then I had that jaw surgery and 3 nasty months of healing, and then afterwards I was like, yeah, full princess.
And you became the Princess of Genovia?
Basically, yeah. That's how it worked out.
Yeah. You gotta help me out here a little bit. I can't get over this Woody Harrelson being the reliable adult.
But he's still sarcastic. He's still very much Woody Harrelson to a T. But then he's a stable adult. He has a family. He has kids. He helps her through the transition of losing her dad and dealing with her mom. And he's the adult that's always there when Nadine is the character's name. When Nadine is really struggling, she goes into his classroom, and every time she goes in the classroom, he's like, why are you in here? And then she proceeds to give an outlandish answer. There's one scene where she's like, well, I don't have any friends to eat lunch with, so I have to eat lunch with you. And he looks at her and he goes, I get 32 minutes of time during lunch. And I'm currently drafting a suicide note because of students like you. That's what he says to her.
I like it.
It's so iconic because I was like, this is actually like a really real representation of one of those student-teacher relationships. There were always teachers that you would gravitate towards in high school, and always were the really sarcastic ones where I'd be like, well, I'm having a really bad day, and they would just give me an absolutely sarcastic response of, well, guess what? It could be worse. You could be an adult and have bills to pay. So I always really loved it for that reason too.
Well, guess what? It's going to be worse. You got detention now.
It was a very real representation of like how things were actually for me in high school.
So now I have to watch that, The Edge of 17.
You do. I highly recommend
I
it.
do like Haley Steinfeld, so.
And she does a great job in it. And then I don't remember the girl's name. I think it's like Haley Lou Richardson or something. But she's in there as one of Nadine's friends, and she does a really good job too. And then the woman who plays Haley Steinfeld's mother in the show is another like more popular actress, but I can't remember her name. But she does a really good job of being the sarcastic mom of a teenage girl who's like, I'm not putting up with your drama today. And I really appreciated that because that's pretty much how my mom was.
Didn't put up with your drama.
No, she was like, okay, we're not doing this. But very relatable all around. Yeah.
The Edge of 17.
The Edge of 17.
So far, you picked all these movies you identify with. I probably didn't do that at all. Well, I mean, I kind of identify with Shrek. Actually, I identify with Grandpa Joe. I'm just laying in bed all day so somebody gets me a ticket to the chocolate factory.
Love that for you. Love that for you.
So my second movie is a movie I love, and it will be laughed at by people because it is not a movie that people would pick as their favorite. But it's my favorite. It's very iconic to me.
Him?
A lot of people probably watch it ironically, I guess. I don't even know if you've ever seen it. It is Point Break.
Point Break. Mm-mm.
The original.
It's not what I've seen.
They made another one in like the 2000s, and yeah.
It's just never as good as the original. I don't know why they do remakes.
So you've never seen Point Break? Keanu Reeves, Patrick
I know who
Swayze.
that is. I also know who that is. You want to give me the breakdown of the plots?
The Red Hot Chili Peppers are in it.
Well, that's why you like it.
No, I mean, Keanu Reeves, this would have been after Bill and Ted thing.
I have seen that one.
Okay. Oh, I'm actually surprised. You knew Keanu Reeves had a career before The Matrix, which is what most people don't know. You haven't seen The Matrix?
Well,
I'm not a big Matrix fan. I've seen him. I really like him in John Wick. Point Break. So the premise of the movie is crazy. There's these guys led by Patrick Swayze, whose name in the movie is Bodie. Okay? Oh. And they're Southern California surfers.
Fits the name.
And they're adrenaline junkies, and they're bank robbers. So
all of the above.
So they rob banks dressed up in ex-president masks.
Okay, I've seen clips of this. I can almost picture exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
And for a long time, they couldn't be caught. Well, Johnny Utah, that's Keanu Reeves' name. His backstory is he went to Ohio State, big-time quarterback, and then he joins the FBI. And, of course, he gets pairs with this older, more cynical partner, and Nick Nolte.
Okay.
And his partner's got this crazy idea that these guys are surfers. But everybody at the Bureau thinks he's insane. And so he enlists Johnny Utah to help him gather evidence. So Johnny Utah goes undercover, makes friends with Bodie and the gang, and starts hanging out more. He learns to surf. There was a lady in the 80s and 90s that was really big. My generation knows her well, Lori Petty. At one point, she was Bodie's love interest, and then she becomes Johnny Utah's love interest. And that's important later in the film. But he embeds himself with them. One of the first times he tries to embed himself, he gets beat down by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. He's carrying a surfboard, walking down this boardwalk, and Nikitas, that's the lead singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, comes out and asks him a question, and he tells him, we don't like locals surfing the break here. And Keanu Reeves is like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll leave. And Nikitas goes, nah, man, we're just going to fuck you up. And then they beat him and everything, and then his partner comes and gets him. Later in the movie, he starts to think that group is the bank robbers.
Okay.
But they're not. They're really just meth heads.
Chill.
Yeah, so they have this big sting. Some people get shot, and they realize that it was a bust. And then, of course, the big boss is upset with them, and they want this nonsense to stop. But Utah refuses to let it stop, so he keeps going. Eventually, what happens is they take Johnny Utah's girl, of course.
Okay.
And he has given her to this enforcer. And he says they're in Tijuana or Mexico somewhere. Here's where it gets fun. He gets on to Johnny Utah. He figures out that Johnny is FBI.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he does it. So then he says, okay, Johnny, we're going to go along on a bank robbery. And he makes them go in with no mask. And then one of the guys gets shot for the first time. One of their own got hurt. And they're trying to escape. And Johnny's trying to stop them. But they drag him along. Then comes the scene that everybody always remembers. They're getting on this plane. And there's a shootout. But they get on the plane. And they all got their skydiving equipment on. Because the plan is they're going to take these boxes of money. The plane's going to fly under radar. And then, you know, they're going to jump out into Mexico.
Solid plan. Yeah.
Solid plan, right? They jump out. And this is where it gets ridiculous. Johnny jumps out, mind you.
Okay.
He's never skydived
right.
before. And take it from
That's
somebody
one
who has skydived before. Nothing that comes next is possible in this movie. You know, they have this fight scene in the air, you know, and somehow magically, you know, Johnny's able to get stable and fly, which is the hardest thing in skydiving. Trust me. And he catches Patrick Swayze, and then they're fighting. They got a gun. They got all this going on. And then they're talking and yelling, which I can tell you right now is not possible. You know, when you're falling from 20,000 feet, you know, you're just, you know, like some crazy. It's the most disorienting feeling in the world. And then they are trying to play chicken on who's going to pull the parachute, the ripcord first. And then Bodie pulls Johnny's at the last second, and he pulls his own, and they both crash into the ground pretty hard. The girl there, so he gets her. Bodie drives off with the one guy with all the money, and then that's that. But then they do a couple months later scene, which is one of my favorite scenes. They're on this thing that Bodie had been talking about through the movie called the 100-Year Storm, because he wants to surf the 100-year storm.
Okay.
And he's out in Australia somewhere. And Johnny is still with the FBI, and he wants to go out and arrest him. He goes out there, and it's pouring. These waves are just like tsunami level waves. Utah's kind of going off the reservation because nobody believes he knows where he is, and he just knows that he'll be there for the 100-year storm.
Yeah.
So he shows up, and of course Bodie's there in his wetsuit with his surfboard, just kind of, and his poncho over him. You know, like the ones you get, like, from Mexico, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's got that on, and he's just staring out there, and then he's like, he starts talking, and the conversation and the dialogue between those two are just magical.
Yeah.
Kind of in a bad way, but it's because some of it is not the best act. But he's like, Johnny Utah gets his man, huh? And then Keanu Reeves is like, people died, man. You got to go down. And then, of course, they fight in the water. Bodie almost drowns Johnny Utah, but in the melee, Utah cuffs himself to Bodie.
Oh.
Spoiler alert. At the end, the SWAT team comes in because this guy's armed and dangerous, right? But
yeah.
Keanu just unlocks his handcuff and lets him go. And then Bodie immediately goes and starts paddling out. The guys are like, why'd you let him go? And he's like, he's not coming back. And he just walks off. But before we fade to black, Johnny pulls out his badge, looks at it one last time, and chucks it into the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when he's talking to Bodie, too, in that last scene, Bodie asks him if he's still surfing, if he's still with the girl and everything. And he's like, yeah. Because Bodie's whole thing has always been about surfing and finding this higher plane.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he was like,
crazy.
you're a searcher like me, Utah.
That's a crazy way to end something. Throwing the
but-
badge into the ocean.
Absolutely love the movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you got guns, you got dead president's masks, you got skydiving. What more could you ask for?
Yeah,
Keanu
literally, what more
Reeves.
do you want?
It's awesome.
I love
It's
that.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
feel like I definitely need to check that out now because it sounds pretty good.
It's an iconic movie.
Yeah. Would you say that that's
All
like
right.
your comfort movie? Like your go-to?
My go-to? I don't know. One funny thing, I'm not the movie watcher you probably think I am.
I mean,
I do watch movies, but I'm not a TV or movie person in all actuality.
that's pretty fair.
I do watch TV shows, but a lot of times I don't really feel like I have the attention span for a movie.
Okay, see, I feel the same way, because when you asked me to do movies, I was like, I'm a TV show watcher.
I'm also one of those people that I don't like watching new things. It's hard to get me to watch new things.
Yep.
I'm going to watch Point Break again, or I'm going to watch, like you said, a Marvel movie again, or I'm going to rewatch all the Star Wars movies. You know, I do see new movies, and there are things. Of course, I do go see all the Marvel movies and watch all the Marvel TV shows. I watch other shows. It's just not my thing. If it's on when you're flipping channels, I'm definitely going to watch it.
That's fair. It's like
This is your favorite movie, right? Coming up.
yeah, it's my favorite movie. If The Edge of 17, if once you watch that, if that doesn't explain some things, this definitely will. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this movie. I picked for my number one the Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian movie from 2009.
Is this like the third one, fourth one?
This is the second one. It's the sequel to Night at the Museum.
I don't even
pretty
know if
sure.
I've seen it. I know I've seen like one or two of them, maybe.
This one was like on repeat. I had it on DVD as a kid. I would watch it all the time because this came out in 2009, in which I would have been 8 years old, which would have been about third grade, which is when I discovered that I had an obsession with Amelia Earhart. And who's one of the main characters in this movie? Amelia
Well, I
freaking
think that's
Earhart.
it. Like every little girl go through an Amelia Earhart obsession.
Yeah, I still have it. I have coffee table books about it. Embarrassingly enough, that obsession has continued my entire life. But I remember seeing the movie for the first time. I liked the first one because I love historical things and I really liked the idea of museum characters coming to life. It was basically a Toy Story, but with museum characters.
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
loved
That's
that concept.
very, very, very true.
And I think Ben Stiller is a really good actor, but I don't have anything to compare it to because I probably have terrible taste in actors. But
Was that Ben Stiller? For some
Ben
reason,
Stiller,
I thought it was Robin Williams.
He's also in there. Robin Williams plays Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, he plays Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes. Ben Stiller plays Larry the Night Guard. And I really like Ben Stiller movies. There's another one, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, where he's almost a Nat Geo photographer and it follows his travels. Really loved him in that too. But the first one was good. And I remember we watched the second one. And I remember seeing it for the first time. And Amelia Earhart pops out of nowhere, and I was 9 years old, obsessed with her. Oh my god, we have to keep watching. I have to know what happens. And then there's a heartbreaking moment where she goes back to being just a wax figure in the museum, and Larry's still a real person, the night guard, and I was heartbroken as a child that they couldn't be together. They're perfect. I'm usually not a fan of sequels to movies. I do happen to think that a lot of times the original is better. This is my exception to that rule. I loved this movie.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you're probably the only person in the world whose favorite movie is The Second Night at the Museum.
100%. And none of my current friends have ever seen it. I think my little sister Bree is the only person who's seen it because if I wanted to watch it, and we only had one TV in our playroom, so she had to watch it too. If it was like movie night, this was my choice. She'd have to see it. My parents have probably seen this movie so many times because they raised the weird girl, like that stereotypical weird girl. And this was like my go-to movie. This is my comfort movie. Like, I don't know what I'm going to watch. I will watch this. Isn't that crazy? That
is kind of crazy.
It explains so much though. But again, it's got a lot of my favorite actors in it. Robin Williams as Teddy Roosevelt was amazing as a kid. It was so believable, and I loved that piece in the first movie and the second movie. The freaking capuchin monkey always cracked me up. I would be so scared if I was a museum night guard and a capuchin monkey came to life. I would rather fight all of the dinosaurs that would come to life other than the monkey. No problems asked. But yeah, I loved it. I don't know. I think the chaotic plot, the humor, it's so Toy Story, but real life people and historical figures. I loved it.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not going to laugh at it because I don't even remember hardly those movies. I'm pretty sure that's very, very original.
It's so, yeah, it is. And it makes a lot of sense.
Number one, I can tell you that
this is like when people ask my favorite movie, this is the first thing out of my mouth, the first title.
So that's why you never get a second date.
I feel so called out. Probably. I don't usually mention it on the first date. I have to feel them out first and be like, are you the same type of autistic that I am?
It's not on your Tinder.
No, I have to feel them out first. Are we on that same wavelength, or are you too unintelligent for this?
But that's cool.
I feel like it's unique. But yeah, my
I'm
parents
just
probably
glad.
were
I'm
like,
just
"What's
sitting here
wrong with her?"
glad you didn't pick High School Musical.
You know, and my sister's favorite movie is High School Musical. So the
Oh
amount of times that
no.
I watch High School Musical is the amount of times she watched Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian, and she can back me up on that. Brie was a High School Musical girl. We watched it so much. I could probably act it out for you if you really wanted me to.
Oh no, we're good on that.
Are you sure?
No. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing that
Believe
your
me.
number one movie is not High School Musical.
It is not. My number one movie, honestly, is going to be pretty basic. You know, I said earlier, like, this isn't about the greatest films or cinema of all time. But honestly, my number one is the number one on a lot of those lists.
Oh, okay. So your favorite movie is also not A Night at the Museum movie.
No, it is not. No, definitely not. It is very basic. It's what a lot of people will say is their favorite movie of all time. No guesses
Okay.
yet?
No, I'm trying really hard, but
I said it's at the top of most like film lists. It really
is
is.
it? And you said it's not a Marvel movie. Is it a
Oh,
Star
no.
Wars movie?
No, the Star Wars
Oh,
movies
okay.
are-
No, Star
I
Wars.
mean, I like the Star Wars movies, but I'm talking
Yeah.
about if you ask a cinephile or all these people that put out like these magazine articles, it's usually in the top 3 to 5, easy, if not number one.
I don't think I have a
Greatest
guess.
movies of all time.
But I also watch weird movies. If that hasn't been
Yeah, I
proven at
guess.
this
I mean,
point.
just say your favorite movie. Night at the Museum too. You weren't lying about like not knowing much about cinema.
Hey now. Careful.
For those of you listening, you probably already guessed. If not, mine is The Godfather.
There's no way I would have guessed that.
Really? Come on now.
No.
Or The Godfather 2. I put them both up there. Yeah, well, The Godfather and The Godfather 2, they're pretty even playing field.
Okay. All right.
And usually, like, if you look at all these lists, it's always, those two are always up there.
I looked at a list in a magazine that ranks movies.
Or like,
if again,
what about on the internet? You see it all the time, all these lists and stuff.
I've seen a lot of like things relating back to The Godfather, but I don't see like it being like the
Yeah.
number one movie all the
Like,
time.
have you ever seen it?
No. Mm-mm.
How do you watch Gilmore Girls if you've never seen The Godfather? Lorelai references The Godfather
I
just
know.
about every episode.
That's how I know what it is. It's from Gilmore Girls.
Like,
I watched a YouTube that was here's all of the prevalent movies when Lorelai Gilmore is making quotes or making references. This is who she's referencing, and I remember The Godfather being on there.
in our first pod, me and Baruka talked about the Taylor Swift even makes a Godfather reference. It's on the latest album, Life of a Showgirl. Father
Okay.
figure.
Father figure.
Yeah, she says he sleeps with the fishes, which comes from The Godfather.
Okay. Let's see. I get that from reading the book Paper Towns, but that's fair too that it would be a
I'm pretty
movie.
sure that came before Godfather.
Oh,
came
100%.
before-
It 100%
before
did.
Paper Town.
I don't even know when
Because it
Godfather
was,
came out, but I would believe it.
It was a book written by Mario Puzo.
When did The Godfather come out?
Was it late early 70s?
Oh, wow. So is it like
Yeah,
in
it's
color or black and white?
Yes, it's in color. I
Oh,
mean, it's
it's
not
in
in like
color.
Technicolor and all the HD, but yeah, it's in
Damn.
color.
God, it's a crazy year. That thing would be like 60 or older.
Yeah, I mean, how old do you? Well, the original Willy Wonka was like from the 70s, I think.
Yeah, amazing that that one's in color. So, did you see The Godfather early on in life then?
I didn't. No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
No. I
It
did.
came, you saw it when you were an adult.
Yeah, even later as an adult. Everybody
Okay.
always talked about it. Yeah, honestly. And so one day I gotta see what's going on here. I finally
Yeah.
broke down, which I rarely do on these type of things. I'm now said I'm going to be the person that's never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
I haven't
I'm just
either.
giving up. And I'm probably going to be the person whose sole character trait is they've never seen an Avatar movie
I haven't either.
or
Yeah.
a Lord of the Rings movie. No, I did watch
Nope.
part of one and I couldn't take it. But I watched The Godfather. I was, a little older than most people when you finally
Mm-hmm.
sit down and watch The Godfather. And yeah, I was immediately taken. And then the second one's really great too. And then they made a third, which is
Should have stopped
something.
at 2.
Yeah, they should have stopped at 2. The third one is best known because of the dying scene. Sofia Coppola dies in this. You know who
Yeah.
Sofia Coppola is, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, she's the daughter of Michael, and she dies in this. It's an acting job. It's something.
Uh-huh. All right.
But, yeah.
All right.
It's iconic for the wrong reasons.
We love one
But-
of those moments.
So yeah, the first one. I mean, it has so many legendary actors in it.
Hmm.
You know, what's his name? Oh my gosh, the guy who plays the Godfather himself.
Okay, I think I know who that
Yeah,
is.
Marlon Brando. What is wrong with me? Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Tom Berenger, all these iconic actors and actresses. Diane Keaton, and De Niro's in the second one. Joe Pesci. All these people are super young at this point too.
Yeah.
Besides Brando.
I love that. It's got a lot of big names. I'm going to sound so dumb saying this, but were they big names before this, or was this their big break? Do you know?
I'm not 100% because, again, this was before my time.
That's fair.
I think it was kind of a big break for a lot of them. I don't know, man. Because Al Pacino, I'm not real sure if he'd hit big yet. If nothing else, this movie definitely elevated them.
For sure.
Into, like, the A-list area.
Yeah, because those are a lot of big
Same
names.
thing with, like, Diane Keaton. And, you know,
Yeah, those
a lot
are
of big names.
household names, too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Marlon Brando was already a star, and he was much older in this movie. He had already done this thing. It takes place like in the early 50s, maybe, or late 40s, because Michael, that's Pacino's character, he has come back from the World War II as a hero. Then, of course, eventually he takes over the empire. And becomes the mob boss.
I love that. I can definitely respect that. Now that you like say it, the title too, I can see it being a lot of people's number one, especially with those names of those actors too. Like I can see it being pretty formative for a lot of people in terms of movie watching.
It's got a lot of iconic moments, like when Marlon Brando.
I love
could
that.
be a man. Have you ever seen him? Like,
yeah, I think I've seen like
where
clips
he's got
of
the
these.
cat.
Yes, I've seen these clips.
Okay, so the cat scene was improvised.
No. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
The cat wandered onto the set in the middle of the scene, and Brando just picks him up and decides to keep talking. That's where the whole idea of a bad guy having a cat came about.
Okay. I love that.
You
That's
know,
definitely
like,
pretty
This was
significant
a little
then.
bit before your time, but maybe you've seen Inspector Gadget.
I know of it, yeah. I haven't seen it, but I
and
know
Dr.
of it.
Claw, he has a cat he always pets.
The evil villain always has a cat.
Yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
Gargamel in the Smurfs
Yep. He's got a cat.
has a cat. Yeah, that's where that whole trope began. And the cat was just like an improvised scene that wandered on, and he just picked him up and he's petting him. And you could tell the cat's like trying to get away at times.
The cat's like, who
And
am
they
I?
just rolled with it.
I love that. I love that.
Come on now, there's so many iconic lines like, I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
I've heard that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the reference that I saw in that
Well,
YouTube clip that was comparing it.
I was going to say, well, there's more. She like has one in just about every episode.
Really?
There's a lot of Godfather
Okay.
references. That's like one of my favorite things is to catch Godfather references in pop culture. Because it's,
That's what I do with
referenced so many
Shrek, to be
times.
honest.
Every time you hear Smash Mouth, you're like,
I'm like, it's the Shrek song. That's the Shrek song.
this is Shred song.
Yeah, anytime
Hey,
someone's
now,
like, I have layers, I'm like,
All-Star.
Shrek.
Yeah, the layers. Yeah, there you go. I forgot about the layers part.
Oh, you can't
That
forget
was
about the
very
layers part.
good.
That's like the deepest part of the movie.
It is. It is. It really is. It was that was great. The layers part, honestly, I really liked that.
Yeah. Shrek and the
layers.
Godfather just on par with one another cinematically.
There you go. Yeah. Next, what we usually do, or what we do when we have time, is we talk about viral things on the internet, celebrity gossip, and usually that's Faruka's job to know about these things.
All right. Okay.
So that falls on you today.
That falls on me today.
Yeah. So what's going on in the world?
I know the Grammys were, I think, last night or the night before.
Yeah.
They were really
Yeah, a
recent.
couple nights ago. Yeah. I saw the Chapel Roan dress.
Yeah, that was a little bit crazy.
Yeah, that was something.
I had mixed feelings about it. I wasn't the biggest fan. However, like, she was not the worst dressed. Like, some celebrities had some really awful things, but I don't know, maybe they thought they were doing something. I will say the only reason I knew about the Grammys being recently is because I'm a big Sabrina Carpenter fan, and I know that she performed and then also showed up in, like, the best dress I've ever seen. So, but she didn't win anything.
Bummer. I'm not a big award show person at all.
I'm not either.
I don't like the idea of these celebrities getting together and patting themselves on the back.
It feels very much district coded from the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like,
then they talk about things politically or whatever. And
yeah.
It's just like, dude, you have no idea what's going on from your armed
comfort.
mansion. I feel like Ricky Gervais. Have you ever seen his monologue when he hosted
Yes.
one year?
Oh, he's a night at the museum.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. He's the museum director. I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up. But anyway, the point we're making.
I kind of feel like him sometimes. Just get your award, shut up. That leads to a bigger thing we see now, and I'm trying not to go too deep in this rabbit hole, but virtue signaling. I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to say something just to prove that I said it or I believe it. I'm just not to that. I don't get it.
100%. I get that.
I just don't get it.
Yes, Ricky Gervais was in the Night Museum trilogy. He's the museum director. Knew who that was.
Who knew?
But yeah, the only reason I knew about the Grammys was Tyler Childers won for his song Biting List, which when that came out, if you know which one that is, right? If I get rabies, I would come for you and I would bite you and you would die. That's the premise of the song.
No.
Are you serious? The line is literally, to put it plain, I just don't like you. Never really had and never really did. If I ever got the chance and I had rabies, you're high on my biting list. When it came out, oh my gosh. When it came out, everyone sent it to me. Everyone.
Maybe, I remember I sent you one song about a raccoon biting someone.
It's like real. I'll send you a link on Spotify. But that one, I don't remember what category, but that song did win something.
But I don't think it was Tyler Childers. But I remember one day I did send you a song about a raccoon biting someone.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was that song.
This one doesn't specifically mention a raccoon, but it mentions rabies, and so everyone at work sent it to me, and then all my friends and family sent it to me.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
They were like, this is your song. And I was like, it's actually my walk-up anthem. But yeah, that won something. And then Olivia Dean, I think is her name, won Best New Artist. And I've really liked some of her recent music. It's pretty popular on TikTok too. Big moments I know that happened in pop culture recently. Justin Bieber went and performed, and he was like half naked.
Boxers and...
Yeah, so everyone was like making fun of
socks.
him. And then everyone was commenting that Harry Styles looked like he was there for like a Zoom meeting because from the top up, he was dressed really nice. He was super casual on the bottom.
Oh, really?
So that gave me a good giggle. He is dressed like for Zoom meetings. He had a nice blazer, and then he's got like, jeans and flats on. And I was like, you know what? It's giving Zoom meeting.
I know Sabrina Carpenter performed. I know about Chapel Roan's dress. I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
I think I saw a picture of Addison Rae.
Yeah, I can't get on the bandwagon for her, but not like her music is not my thing.
I know Turnstile won 2 Grammys. I like Turnstile. And didn't they do the Ozzy tribute with Post Malone? Yeah.
Yes.
And Slash. I'm gonna be honest, Youngblood did it better.
I can get behind that. Yeah, I feel like the performances like were good, but they weren't like anything memorable or like spectacular or stand out by any means.
That's about all I know about the Grammys, to be honest. I don't think I've ever watched an award show in my life. Maybe the MTV Video Music Awards when I was younger.
Yeah.
The MTV Video Music Awards I used to watch. So you don't have anything about this whole Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Taylor Swift?
I think that Taylor Swift is a good friend. We see where her loyalty lies, for sure. Yeah. I think Canceled was a really great anthem for the whole thing, even though on Taylor Swift's new album, it is a skip song for me. The first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, I 100% know who this is about. But I really haven't seen much on it or been following it much because I'm not a Blake Lively fan. I didn't know who Justin Baldoni was until all of this.
Yeah, definitely not.
So, like, I don't really have a reason
honestly,
to follow
I only knew Blake Lively because of Ryan Reynolds.
I only knew Blake Lively because I watched Gossip Girl, but even then, she wasn't my favorite character. I'm definitely a Blair girl, so I can't speak on anything. I like following what Taylor Swift is doing, but again, like, this isn't directly involving her. I think she's being a loyal friend. Whether she's on the right or wrong side, I don't know.
I think she was being a loyal friend from the text, and I don't blame her. The real question kind of is where the line gets blurred because she also had input on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And her song being used for the trailer and all that, and that's where it gets a little bit questionable.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Who cares in the end?
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, it was just weird because Blake Lively said she had done this before for her. It's like almost like Blake Lively kind of uses Taylor to...
That's kind of the sense I get with like a lot of people who are like Taylor Swift's friends. Blake Lively especially abusing the privilege of it. And like that is kind of on par with like what we've seen of her as a person. Like obviously we don't know her as a person. We can't make any assumptions. But like how she presents herself in the media, it definitely feels very fitting that she would be using other people just because everything she does is like under a lot of speculation. and a lot of
Yeah.
criticism because of what she's done in the past and how she continues to let those issues still happen presently.
You know, and some people are just always going to come off. The vibe ain't right, right? One Brooke and I have talked about before is Brie Larson.
Mm-hmm.
She may not be a bad person, but whenever you see her, you're just,
Yeah, and just like the vibe's not there.
yeah. So sometimes it's like that.
Yeah, but like the assumptions you can get based off of how other people react around them too in real time. And you see them at award shows and you see people get a little bit quieter or they're a bit more cagey, it seems. The interviewer is asking pretty dry questions, non-invasive questions, because they don't want to say the wrong thing and then get put on blast because they asked Lively a question she didn't want to answer. So
Right.
certain things like that, you can tell the vibe based on just the reactions of other celebrities and then people interacting with them in the media.
Definitely. Speaking of interacting in the media, I saw a thing where someone had asked Kylie Kelsey, if there's going to be a wedding this year. And she said, I don't know. I don't have any idea. Now, with that being said, I've also seen things where people are thinking this might be off.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen anything, but I also haven't like stalked Taylor Swift's Instagram lately. I haven't seen anything about it being off. But yeah, that's suspicious that she would say that.
Brooke Oz has this thing because I guess Tree Payne says they were having problems with the
Oh, well, I mean,
because
I
there
saw
was
on the
something in
internet
Travis's that like wasn't done right and everything. And to me, I'm like, okay, those two people, sure, I understand the need for the prenup, but I don't think money's going to get in the way of this marriage, right?
no, they would have bigger issues that like then the money like was like fuel to the fire essentially, but there had to have been other things going on.
And
I
so
don't know.
there's no date. And one thing I thought about just being practical is if it's going to happen anytime soon, it needs to happen now because unless he decides he's not going to play next year.
Yeah.
Because come July, August, his focus needs to go back 100% to football.
So when did they get engaged? It was last year, but it wasn't really on last year, right?
No, I don't think so.
It had to have been like mid-year to end of the year. How long is it going to take to put together a celebrity wedding this scale too? You have to consider like maybe it's not going to be in 2026 surely because
well, I don't think she's going to be like Jeff Bezos and rent out Venice.
No, it's not going to be anything crazy. If you think about everything that has to go into that, a normal wedding, which already takes a lot of time to plan if you're going to do a ceremony and bigger wedding, and then you're also adding the element of everyone is going to be a celebrity guest. It's going to be highly sought after by paparazzi. You're going to have to hire a lot of security. And Taylor seems to be a person who is very private. She's one of those that probably carries the mantra of being private but not secret. Eventually she'll let us know she got married. She did eventually let us know she got engaged, but probably wasn't the day of. She has a lot of private elements in her life, and I do respect a lot of celebrities for keeping that stuff private because it must be nice to have something outside of the limelight.
And the celebrity thing, I don't think you can announce your engagement right away because you need to tell the people that are important first before it.
Exactly. And
except
that's
because
hard,
have you seen the interview with Taylor where she like said she forgot to tell Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, because she's like, he's not on social media, and I like only hear from him. Yes.
Yeah. And he found out through social media that they were engaged.
I think that's crazy. I had a friend in college that our entire friend group found out she was engaged because she posted it on Instagram. And one of my other friends called her out and she goes, well, I was totally going to tell you guys, but I just wanted to post it first. Girl, that's weird. Tell your friends first. Have it be private for a minute just between you and your partner, and then maybe tell your close friends and family. But putting it on Instagram right away before you tell your parents or your closest friends is
that's
crazy.
Weird. They get caught up in the moment. I don't know. What's the word for it?
Yeah, they are.
Not thinking about what it actually means. I'm not saying that they're not ready to get married or whatever, but they just don't think.
Yeah.
They'd rather get clicks than share it with somebody else first.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate people
or
like that.
Or they want to brag right away. I don't know.
Doing it to pose, or to brag. Even if they're on the outs, we're not going to know for a minute because, for example, her and Joe, we didn't really have an idea. Like, there was speculation, and there was more speculation with that than there has been with this, like, potential break off of the engagement because I haven't heard anything about that.
I just don't know why they can't be normal and be like, nope, we're done. That's probably not going to work. Because obviously her handlers specifically are not going to do anything that could be detrimental to her image or career.
Exactly. Which I think is smart.
I think she could have cheated and find a way or something crazy, and they would still find a way to make her come out of it squeaky clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really think that's what happened.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assumption, though. Like, that would happen. I haven't seen anything on that. I'll have to do a deep dive and get back to you. Too much of a deep dive, and then, like, all of a sudden it's like a random Tuesday, and you're still looking up, like, if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged or not, and you're just like...
Well, I Googled as he actually came out with his decision on playing this year, so... And he has not made his decision. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
'Cause I think that's going to be a big part of it.
I think so, too. I think it's going to be an indicator, though, also, if he stops playing football, we're going to know that wedding is coming.
Yeah, I think so, too. Because he's not going to be able to plan a wedding or get married in the middle of the season. No. It's like the Eras tour for her is you got to be 100% focused.
Yeah.
That's why I said it either has to happen soon or it's not going to happen for a while if he still plays.
100% agree on that. Like,
if I was him, I'd hang it up. And the big thing with Travis Kelce, because I'm a football fan, is that he has nothing left to prove in his career. He, has won the Super Bowl a couple times. One of, if not the greatest tight end of all time. He will be in the Hall of Fame immediately. And he could walk into any studio, ESPN, CBS, NBC, and they would give him a blank check.
Immediately
to come talk about
hand it over.
football. Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. He's got it made.
So look at what everything Jason did. And Jason was not nearly the personality Travis was, even before Taylor, because Travis was a big personality in the NFL world
100%.
before Taylor. Jason never was, and now look at him. He's all over the place. They're like going to be like the Manning brothers.
I mean, so here's the thing. They do break off that engagement. One, we are getting a bomb album. It is going to be so good. Two, we can have another Travis Kelce reality dating show because that's the real reason he got into stardom. Like, come on. It'll be great.
I don't know about the album. Everybody says that, but I don't think so.
I feel like her breakup albums are way better than her albums when she's in love.
No, I get that point. I think maybe I expect her to grow up. But maybe this be the time where she's like, you know what? It just didn't work out. I'm not going to blast people.
Yeah.
If you're always going to blast people, then you got to look in the mirror like, maybe it's not them.
Maybe I am the problem.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I guess you could still get a breakup album where it's
like sad that we broke up, but like it can't be anything as like all too well, like I don't think it would be anything that massive or that like earth shattering. Or
like most of Tortured Poets Department, I expect maybe more inward looking or something.
Yeah. Like,
unless something comes out crazy, like he cheated on her.
It would be like,
game.
I think it would be more like Champagne Problems, but a whole album of that. Yeah. Where she's like, I am the issue, All right.
Let's wrap this up. It's always fun talking about favorite movies. Everybody's got their one. I could literally put on 100 different movies right now and be like, oh, this is my favorite movie. I think we realized that movies, especially yours, were so much more than just being a movie.
For sure. A lot of times with movies, the big thing is thinking, where were you when you watched them? That's definitely what I thought about with every single one that I picked.
Yeah,
and honestly,
talking about riding in the truck with the DVD.
Exactly. And honestly, who you were trying to be, and then what stuck with you after those end credits, rolled.
I think they do play a huge role in people's lives. I do think it's interesting to me personally. I realized a little bit through this episode is that I don't necessarily have those kind of connections with movies because I think my medium is more music.
100%. I feel like I'm the type of person though that I can find a connection in anything. Like there are some movies that I just absolutely feel nothing for, and then there's others that I'm very connected to. But I feel the same way with books, music, TV shows.
Yeah. So there's definitely like a lot of music that I connect that way, and I talked about before, like I can remember the first moment I heard it or what I was going through at the time, even when I hear the song today. Thank you for hanging out with me today, Mac. It's been a lot of fun. For everyone out there listening or watching, Mac will be back in the future. I know at least she will be on the super special pod, which is probably going to be a 2-part pod coming up at the end of the month, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm pretty sure we'll see her again anyways.
I hope so. I had fun. Thank you for having me on. It was very exciting, very fun to chat and kind of get to know your movie preferences.
Thanks for listening from Vinyl to Viral. New episodes every Thursday. Same culture, different generations. And Mac, you have anything to leave us with?
Yeah, before we go, if this episode made you think of your top 3 movies, go ahead and drop them in the comments.
Yes, please do. Or if you disagree with any of our picks, let us know. Especially let us know your feelings on Night at the Museum #2. What's the subtitle for it?
It's Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian.
Battle of the Smithsonian. There you go,
Yep.
folks. Make sure you go watch that and let us know what you think. Until next time, peace.